Hey folks, I'm back. I believe it's time for me to kind of show you the trick here, how to force Closers to write an SEO friendly article. I've done enough tests now to say that I'm able to kind of get a good outcome regularly, right? So I just finished writing this article on healthy coping mechanisms for anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. And I just want to kind of show you, according to Phrase, this is the same article here. Phrase says this is 100% optimized for SEO. This is brilliant. And the reason it's brilliant is that it's a very easy process to follow to achieve this. And you notice that for almost the last month, I just kind of disappeared. I'm trying to crack my head on. We've been able to write articles. We've broken a lot of barriers when it comes to our writing with the help of Closers Copy. It's easy now to write 1,000 words in 1 minute. But one of the problems I noticed was that no matter how much I tried, when I write articles without focusing on SEO, anytime I now measure the SEO value, it's often very near to zero or no SEO value at all. And I was thinking that wouldn't it be good if Closers Copy could be used to write easily, but also write something that is SEO, a keyword rich. And that's what I'm going to do today. So now I've written this article. I want to write another article that will be linked to this article. So we're going to go and create a new article. So my work so far has highlighted, perhaps maybe we can write healthy coping mechanism. I want to do something around loneliness. So healthy coping mechanisms for loneliness. So I'm just going to show you the process I'll follow to create an SEO friendly article for this topic. But before we dive into that, how did I create the framework? The framework, if you go into the community and you look for two frameworks, this is the Silo headlines, Silo outline, and Silo body content, and then Silo conclusion. These are the frameworks that I have been using. And you don't have to use all of them. And most of the time, I either just use the headline. I may use the outline, but I find that it's better to come in with an outline, maybe from something like Phrase or even from Google. And I'll explain something that's very important about the outline in a moment. And then just use the kind of Silo body content. Let me just share them quickly to make sure they're all shared in the community. So if you just go into the SEO, look for Silo, the Silo body conclusion, Silo outline, Silo headline. Those will take you to these frameworks. Okay, but what's so important about these frameworks? I cracked my brain literally for a whole month to try and figure out how I could force Closers Copy to follow SEO rules. You can't believe how hard it is. It's just very difficult to try and make it force it. Then I came across a very simple process that didn't need any forcing at all. All it just needed, and this is the trick, all it just needed is for me to find websites that already follow SEO rules and copy some of their content into my framework. And that's all it needed. I mean, if you are wondering how do you do this, I already have a YouTube video. You can search a YouTube video. I'll try and link to it somewhere here. That talks about how to create blog content. So we are kind of using the same process, but in this case, we are focusing purely on content that that the author is following SEO rules. So I went for blogs like Backlinko and SEMrush, or any article where I know the content, the author is most likely going to follow SEO rules. And I use that for my examples in Closest Copy. Now, something I noticed about this type of content is that quite often they're very informational based content. And if you notice as well, if you go through a lot of articles online, when you type into something and Google gives you an article as the answer, they tend to be very more informational based. It's almost as if the writers haven't necessarily put any kind of character into their writing. Before I was sort of thinking that that's a very negative thing, because I like to have character in my writing. However, when I think about it, when I'm looking for an answer to something, I usually just go online and type into Google, look for one of the first or few websites that I see that gives me the answer. I'm not looking for character. I'm not looking to be wowed. I just want a simple answer. So if the article is taking long to get to the answer, is giving me all this different discussion, it can feel very frustrating, and I click away. So it makes sense why most of these articles that are SEO friendly are very informational focused. As such, and this is how this is what I've done with these examples as well. So when I pulled those examples out, so I pulled a few different types of paragraphs into this particular body content, silo body content one. I've done it in a way that it somehow works like a long form framework. So in other words, all you just have to do is go in there and it will give you content for any section of your article. So you create your article, you have your subheadlines, just put your subheadlines into this, and it will give you, in essence, you can just stay in that particular framework. You can just stay in this framework for the whole article, and it will bang out all the content you need. Okay, but something I just want to kind of highlight, you will notice that some of my frameworks, I'm beginning to do something that's rather different from everybody else. I'm writing this thing I call the key. And in this case, for this particular framework, the key is body content. And what's that? What does that mean? So if I go into the framework, and usually when we create our frameworks, we will put all the example in, and at the end we'll write the sections for the text box that we want to fill in, and at the end then you also have the next thing which you expect the AI to notice, which will be the body contents. So usually we would have this body content here in the examples, but I found out that in order to help your framework follow you more closely, putting the body content here is actually disadvantageous, and I explain why. So I just put the body content there, and if I want to now write an article, I want to fill in content for after a subheading on depression. So bearing in mind how that example was, the AI will read this, and then will read that next word, which was body content, before then giving me my outcome. The problem with that is that once the AI reads that and gives you an outcome, you don't have very much control over what the AI gives you. And you just have to do with what the AI gives you. However, when you put the key in, you allow the framework to be able to put the key in here. I can now be the person guiding the AI to start the output in the way I want, which then makes it more likely for the AI to give me the kind of output I'm looking for. I'll show you. Now, there's nothing wrong with the output here that is given, but I found that when I do it this way, it's almost like I'm saying to the AI, okay, take this headline and give me anything. So the AI would just give me a whole bunch of anything, and it will take me a while to actually get one of them that I really like. So instead of relying on that system, I found that it's better to remove that final thing. I'll remove the body content from here and place it here. Then I can use my framework almost like it's a long form, right? So subtopic is there, and I can then put that body content here, and I can put anything and start off the AI from here. So I could say, so it's talking about healthy coping mechanism from depression. I could actually write it anything, and the AI will try to continue from that. So I could write, I am so tired about depression. And the AI will take that and try and come up with something that matches a headline like this, a main title like this, and a subtopic like this. That way, I just have more control over what my AI is giving me, which means I can speed through an article very fast. So two things are happening here. One, the framework already is obeying SEO rules because it's copied from articles online that are following SEO principles properly. And then two, I am actually guiding the AI, making sure it follows through with what I want. So I'm so tired of depression and hopeless. I want to live in peace and happiness. However, my depression takes over my life. So it gives me something based on how I've written here. So now I could say, okay, oh, all right, I like up to here, and paste that in there, and maybe say, but life on Earth is so rubbish. There's no place where we can hide. So I can then take this and say, okay, I can add this to this. But what you're going to find is then that I'm getting my parts of the paragraph very quickly, and it is following SEO rules. It's the strangest part of it. By the time you finish your article using this process, it would have put in a lot of keywords that you wanted to find. I mean, the previous way I would try to do this is go and find the keywords and try to figure out how I could use the keywords, where it would fit in different articles. It was just a headache. With this approach, all I just do is, once I have my outline, use my outline and just post my outline here and use this particular framework to just work through each of the outline. And the outline is where it's very important. So this is the key point now. In order to make sure that the article gives you a similar outcome to what I have here, we want to first start off with an outline that follows somewhat what the search engines are after. And that's all we need. We just need an outline that follows what the search engines are after, and then this framework is going to give you the outputs you want. So I'm going to show you how I do it. So I'm going to go into phrase briefly for this. So new document. The new document we are doing is healthy coping mechanism for loneliness. So whilst phrase is doing that, now if you don't have phrase, you don't have to use phrase. You could actually use a different process which is go into Google, type in that headline, healthy coping mechanism, and then go down to the related searches, copy all the content in the related searches, and you've got the beginning, the makings of the beginning of an outline. And then what I then do is click on each one of these related searches to get sections for the rest. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. If it doesn't, if you go in here, how to overcome loneliness without friends, that's not giving me any related searches. Let's see what to do. Let's see if that gives me any. Nope, no related searches. Anyway, most of the time you'll get more related searches, so you could just click through, get related searches around this particular topic, which then will give you, you could just use this as the H2 in your document, use this as the H2, and then get related searches. The good thing about doing that would be that Google's already giving you the idea that these searches, they're actually related to what you are searching for. So if you have an article that starts with that and then has all of these, Google will see it as something that's worthwhile. Okay, but going back to Frase. So the reason I find Frase very useful for doing this would be to go to the outline section and just pretty much look through and copy the different headlines, sub-headlines that I feel match what I want. Okay, so now if you want, you can change these headlines somewhat. But all we're just creating an outline. And the good thing about this outline, a process of outline, is that Frase has already picked, this Frase is picking the first 20 articles, and these first 20 articles, they've written their content in a way that Google already likes. So using some of the content here for your own outline would also help you start on the right foot. So essentially, you just choose the ones you like, and then you sort it out in an order that works for you. And once you have that outline, we'll just copy that outline going to closest copy. Sometimes I like to make sure that my outline maybe will show that it's a little bit optimized for keywords. Sometimes not necessarily. Sometimes I find that it's helpful that if there's maybe about 20% already, if your article is showing 20% already optimized for SEO, that's a good place to start. But if not, all you then just do, just copy these. So these are all your H2s, which you then pop into closest copy. Again, you can, if you want to, you can change the wording slightly so that if you're anxious about being caught for being plagiarizing. But most of the time, I don't think that actually matters that much. And so once you got this, all you just do is go through each one, paste it in. So that the headline needs to be here: healthy coping mechanism for loneliness. And So each of these is going to be the H2s. Right. And that's just the idea. So you just work through these quite simply by just placing them in here. I'll delete what was here before. How to cope with loneliness. Strategies to try. Loneliness is and basically that's how I just walk through my H2s. I make sure that this outline all works properly first. I'm going to come back and do all of that now. I just wanted to show you how you go about this. So a common problem that many people face in today's society. Obviously, it's important to sort of arrange the paragraphs in a logical order. I'm not just doing that here now because that's not part of what I want to show you in this video. So loneliness, coping strategies, psychological healthcare. I'll remove that one. So that's my first H2, second H2. I mean, sometimes what I find is maybe after I've finished writing, I'm thinking, okay, this particular passage, they should come first, and I'm just kind of moving things around. But by just going through this process, you can just bang out your article so fast. And at the end, what you will find is that it's going to be SEO friendly. So resist temptation to withdraw for further when we struggle with loneliness. I forgot to start off the conversation. Maybe let's see if that works. As you probably noticed, the vast majority of the topics are covered. Nope, that doesn't work for me. We all deal with loneliness sometimes. Some of us have to deal with daily, but there's a temptation to go. Yeah, I like it as well, actually. So that could be the next bit. Already, I've got almost 500 words now. Types of isolation. And what you'll find is that as you just carry on with this, okay, so this is good that this is happening actually. So you can see I'm trying to force it to give me some common types of isolation. I have some examples here: interpersonal isolation, intrapersonal isolation. I was hoping it would just carry on and give me, and this is the power of using this process. I can now actually put this in here and say 1. So now Closest Copy knows that I'm creating a list, and I can say this is what I'm hoping is going to happen here is it's not going to notice, okay, I'm now listing some types of isolation people struggle with, and I'm requesting a little bit of an explanation. So I'm hoping Closest Copy will just take that cue and then give me a list now. You can see how it's intrapersonal isolation, loneliness without a cause, inadequate support, mental, emotional, spiritual isolation. You can see how much content is that? That's like 2,000 words. Sorry, 536 words. Just like that. And I'm reading this. In this type of isolation, you may feel isolated from your co-workers, your boss. Yeah. All content that is actually very useful. So I'm actually going to use that. So types of isolation. And what you notice is once we have all of this, it's starting to fill in all the kind of keywords that Google will be looking for this type of article. I like what I have here too as well. So let's use some of this too. So already this is almost 1,719 words. And what's going to be interesting about this would be what happens when I take that and place it into phrase and see whether what's happening with my optimization. Okay. I want to show you this. So this is where we started with the outline. I'm just not going to post in what we have so far in Closascopy. 18% optimized, just like that, 18% optimized. And all I'm doing is using the outline to work through my content, and we just keep working through all the content until I've finished, and bang, within an hour the article is done. The article is done, but not just an article, it's an SEO optimized article that can challenge articles on page 1 of Google, and so even perhaps surpass them, because it's ranking now for way more keywords than what is already there. And so Google understands your article, sees that your content works, and what's interesting is, because the articles that you're modeling this off or from are articles that have been capturing people's attention already, and that's why they're on the first page of Google. That's part of why they're on the first page of Google. What you are creating is also going to capture these people's attention and also going to work for you. So I'm hoping the process that I've followed made sense. I know I've just sort of rushed through the examples. So these are the steps you must follow. First of all, you have to have an outline that is already modeled on articles on page 1 of Google. Phrase is a very good tool that can help you achieve that. Or you can use Compete. Compete in Closascopy will help you achieve that as well. You don't have to go to phrase if you already have Compete. I haven't used Compete in this stage because I just find myself gravitating to the way phrase allows you to just get the outlines that fast. So once you've got the outline, all you just do is you could just use that framework. I'll put the link to the framework in this video at the bottom of this video. Obviously, you won't be able to access the framework unless you've got Closascopy. You have to be signed into your Closascopy account, and then the link will take you straight to the framework. Right. So all you just need to do is use this framework to complete the article. All right. And that's all. Isn't that simple enough? That's very simple. And perhaps something to just say, you might try to use other AI writers to achieve this. I can tell you it's going to be difficult. They will give you content, but the content, it will be hard to make the content very relevant and to be able to kind of get you fast outcomes and output this way. So one of the powers of Closascopy is that it gives us the ability to create frameworks that can do whatever we want it to do. So I'm hoping that you find this helpful. If you really enjoyed this video and you thought it was helpful, please smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. And as I always say, please share the word, spread the word. Let everybody know that what we're achieving, the mighty things we're achieving through the power of Closascopy. Yep. Okay. Take care. Bye.